Hey guys, it's Skymer here, and welcome back to another episode of Triangle Strategy. In the last episode, we fought at the Rosellan village, probably the most unwilling battle that I've wanted to do up to this point. It had the least amount of merit to me, and yet here we are, and I have to do it. For the fact that I have decided to support Hyzante in relinquishing the Roselle, to the point where just a lot of things happened in the fight where Jerome was unwilling to talk because he believed that talking or fighting, it was going to matter little. But after Frederica opens up about her mother, they are willing to give me one chance to be able to convince them as to why I need to surrender them over to Hyzante. So this is going to be difficult, but I just need to be very careful with my words, like Benedict said. The villagers owe a debt of gratitude to Frederica's mother, Orlea. Serenoa is finally able to convince Jerome to speak with them.
I see. Your position is unenviable indeed. However, I must deny your request.
Pray reconsider. There is too much at stake here to make a decision in haste.
The future of House Wolfort rests on your shoulders. We sheltered your people in their time of need, a favor we now ask you to return in kind.
We owe House Wolfort our lives, 'tis true, and I appreciate your candor. But to return to Hyzante would be to spell our doom. I cannot ask the others to make such a sacrifice.
We would ensure that Hyzante does no harm to you, or your people.
Apologies, my lady, but you are in no position to be making such promises. Else we would not be having this conversation.
But
You have the right of it, and for that, I am sorry. However, I implore you to look to the future. Hyzante will stop at nothing to see you return to the source. That much is plain. If they were to decide we were no longer of use, they would crush us and attack this village shortly after.
However, if we were to gain the trust of Hyzante's most powerful, then we would be better positioned to see all the Roselle saved.
And how much suffering would be made to endure until that day came. How many of us would fall? The future may look bright from your position, but we are not accustomed to such lofty heights.
Jerome, please.
Enough, Lord Serenoa. He clearly isn't interested in listening to reason.
We've got other ways of making him cooperate, though.
The sun has set, but on the morrow this matter will be decided, one way or the other.
If you would stoop to force us from our homes, we will not be made to leave without a fight.
No, it will not come to that. We'll find a way that makes every party satisfied. Please just allow us to speak further.
My lord, I am not deaf to your pleas. In fact, I often dream of the day when we can leave this humble village and walk the city's streets without fear. However, returning to the source would mean sacrificing what little pride we have, what little life we have.
But your dream could be made reality. We would fight to see you free.
And then how long would we dream in servitude of the day you won it?
Jerome, you said my mother's name before. Were you well acquainted with her?
I was not, unfortunately. My parents, however, often spoke at length of her inspiring leadership at the time of the uprising. Without her, my people would have never made it alive to see the Wolfort domain.
I never knew. I only heard that she fled Hyzante, not that she had such an instrumental role in the fight for your freedom.
She was a strong woman, in both body and mind. Legend has it, she carved a farewell scar into the statue of the goddess.
The statue that towers over the source. I've never heard that story.
Of course you haven't. Hyzante would never let such blasphemy leave their borders. But we saw it with our own eyes. And so, the story lives on. Lady Orlea roused our people to action with these words, it is told. The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessing spread across all Norzelia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
The true goddess? What blessing does she speak of?
Would that I knew. The others tired of fighting, and parted from Lady Orlea to lead a quiet life. A safe life. 'Tis a decision some still regret to this day. Perhaps that blessing would have given us the means to topple Hyzante's tyranny.
It isn't too late to get to the truth of the matter. Tell us what you know of this blessing, and we'll help you find it.
You mean to say you believe the story? Those were simply words used to ignite the fire of a desperate people.
Isn't it at least worth considering?
Lord Serenoa, I'm sorry. I've told you all I know. Now, night has come, and we must rest. For we know not what the morrow shall bring.
Jerome, wait!
I see now you do not stand atop lofty heights. You struggle just as we do for any scrap of salvation.
Leave him be. It seems our survival cannot be bought without sacrifice.
Indeed. All the more reason not to resort to violence.
Do not lose heart, my lord. You may be head of our house, but we all share the burden of consequence for our decisions. If blood is to be shed, then we shed it together. In this, we are of one resolve.
We mustn't resort to anything dire yet. I shall try to make Jerome see reason.
Yes, my lord.
Groveling in the dirt. I suspect we've all been brought so low.
That was a really heavy scene. I mean, I understand Jerome's perspective. I mean, I knew that it wasn't just gonna be a walk in the park, that we were just gonna be able to just be like, oh, here we go. I mean, I was thinking that I was gonna need information for that particular scene in order to convince him, but I guess it's either just a delayed measure or something. I'm not entirely certain, but we don't exactly have the time to debate this either. I'm pretty sure the S-Frost is preparing to attack Hyzante. We've already heard that they're ceasing salt shipments to the consortium, which is a little bit scary because that makes me think that if they're locking down their alliance in chains, then they're just gonna go attack them next because they are very bloodthirsty people. But the other hand is like, I understand that he's the leader of his people, but Hyzante will target them, and they'll target us too. I mean, this is a matter of extreme delicacy, and there's no telling that what will happen to those people in the Rosellan domain and us if they don't listen to us at least a little bit. I mean, it is true. I feel like we're scraping at any morsel of alliance ship that we can get. I mean, it feels like we're trying to claw our way up the ladder and we just keep falling. Like, we get up one step of the ladder, we fall 2 steps back. And it's hard. You know, this definitely isn't easy. And I mean, so this is gonna be really rough coming into the near future. All right, let's continue with our side story that is at Whiteholm Castle again. Gustadolf reminisces on his past with Cordelia, bringing up a certain woman's name.
Is it true that a Rosellan village exists within the borders of the Wolford domain?
It is, though I have never been. Lord Simon granted asylum to the Roselle who fled the source.
Then an acquaintance of Lady Orlea's is sure to be among them. Perhaps a visit is in order. I've only the faintest memories of her now. She was my father's mistress, and a Rosellan. She shared the history of her people with me when I was a boy. The details escape me now, of course.
How unexpected. I did not believe you cared a whit for lineage. Else you might have thought twice about using your own sister as a bargaining chip.
Ha! And so you object. Why? On the grounds that you too are a sister? Do you believe you are worth more than your brothers, who gave their lives trying to free you?
I'm worth a damn sight more than the man before me, who toys with the weak to feed his own ego.
Well, well. Clearly, I've underestimated you.
I may be powerless, but I am not weak, and I would endeavor to change the former.
That will do. Frederica feels the same, no doubt. She takes after her mother that way. I should sleep with one eye open, lest you turn on me next.
Huh.
Speaking of, 'tis time we retired. The hour is late. Come, Cordelia.
Very well.
I feel like my mind is very split about that scene. The one half of my brain says, yes, Cordelia stood up for herself. Yes. Yeah, you tell him that you don't give a damn about what he thinks or what he's doing. That is some badass moments right there. However, the other side of my brain says, please, Cordelia, watch your words. Please. Just until I might have the ability to actually attempt to restore my place first, and then I'll go knocking on your door. But that would be that would be one of my biggest things if I could go for Gustadolf. But obviously I know there's a lot defending him, but still, I feel like she is a person that I would really, really, really love to free from her clutches of Gustadolf's arms. However, it makes me fear though, like who's fearing who more? Because Cordelia clearly fears Gustadolf because of his position, but she doesn't fear the fact of what, but she's not weak to the, she's not naive or oblivious to what he's doing either. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. She doesn't want to do anything to attack him, at least at the moment, but she is fully aware of what he's doing. She's not just some, girl who's just gonna follow him along like a doll that's just tied to, like a puppet. There we go, there, like that. Yeah, not a doll, a puppet. She's not gonna be puppet mastered. But at the end of the day, I fear that Gustadolf. I believe that Gustadolf also fears Cordelia, because now he feels like that he's losing people. Because I'm already thinking that Avlora clearly has some suspicions, and now Cordelia has expressed not just suspicion, but she is trying to stir up some sort of action or some sort of emotion towards him, which is really interesting. All right, so let's go ahead with the main story again. Serenoa fails to reach an agreement with Jerome, but he refuses to give up.
What are you doing out here alone?
Sleep eludes me. I take it you've had no better luck than I.
I must find a way to move Jerome to my way of thinking ere the sun rises.
You've changed, my friend. You've grown. And in such a short time. You are the natural lord of your house, even in these trying times. Jerome leads his people well, too. The depth of his loyalty to them is plain to see. Even Minister Exham acts with duty and purpose. And in his own way, so does Gustadolf. Whether it be for your ambition, for your country, or for your people, you all act with hearts unclouded by doubt. And what of me? A whelp with delusions of vengeance, fumbling to make my meager wishes a reality. All the while, my sister and my subjects suffer, and I am helpless to offer them succor. There is naught I can do but hide behind this mask and take what comfort I can from the company of friends. I am lost.
Roland, I realize times are difficult. But you're too hard on yourself. You bear the heaviest burden of us all.
Nonsense. You share the same burden as I. The lives of many rest on our decisions.
Aye, that is true. But so it is with those who would lead. Yet, this time, the only path I can offer Jerome is one of hardship.
I understand. However, I believe there is no man who intentionally sets out to harm another. And there is no man who is glad to serve at another's beck and call. Yet the wounded and the conquered exist in droves. The powerless are made to serve the powerful, to be tormented at their whims. Such has it ever been. Perhaps it's the way of the world. Perhaps it will twist and distort until it is so, to thwart our efforts to the contrary.
No, we aren't as helpless as you think. We are bound by naught but our own will, and the barbarity of the past can be brought to an end. We will bring it to an end. Not just for the benefit of our own house, but for the good of all. So that the tragedy unfolding in this village never repeats.
Well said. My apologies for being so maudlin. If there is indeed a path to a better world, we shall find it. Together.
Might I join you?
Jerome, how long were you standing there?
Long enough, but you needn't worry. While I am surprised the prince yet lives, I shall keep the news to myself. What interests me more deeply, however, is this path to a better world. How do you propose to find it, Lord Serenoa?
I haven't figured that part out quite yet. I know that it will forever remain hidden if we let it, however. Jerome, this I swear to you now. House Wolford will never draw steel against you and yours.
I believe you. But I also believe that no amount of words will convince us to leave this place. And if we stay here, then you will have forsaken your duty to the Hierophant.
Even if it comes to that, we will not resort to force.
That is heartening indeed. I believe I have taken my measure of you two, and I do not find myself wanting. I shall gather the other villagers in the morning. Then we shall talk openly.
Thank you, Jerome.
'Tis too early to thank me, my lord. I cannot speak as to how the discussions will conclude. However, I shall do all in my power to bring us to a conclusion that avoids bloodshed.